tense up to close, and it can tense up to open. You see the both tensions, right? So I can like grow this way and I can shrink. So I can push somebody and I can pull somebody, right? You already see that difference, right? But it hasn't, I don't think I can remember a specific time people have actually practiced that. And this is interesting because if you look at, like, I'm a kinesiology major, that's what I studied in school. And the muscles are work in two groups. There's muscles that push, and we're talking the legs and the arms and the whole body, and there's muscles that pull, okay? There's muscles that squeeze and there's muscles that open, right? You got to think of it like that. And today I want to cover that with some breathing, and show you guys how to incorporate that into your kind of breathing as well as into your kind of practice, that you understand that. It makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's important, guys. For me, it's just important that you see that. So let's start with that. And I mean, we'll start with the seated position. We just start with the seated, and then we'll kind of progress from it, right? So just open up your hands, right? Just start with your hands. So make a fist. Okay, so you're closing your hand. And listen, at the beginning, make it like 5 out of 10 tension. Like you're making a solid fist, but you're not shaking, right? You're not popping your veins in your arm. You're just holding comfortable, right? And then as you exhale, you tense up the opposite, the opening muscles that open the hand, okay? So you should feel a whole different set of muscles, right? So I inhale, like I have tension on the inside, and exhale, I have tension on the outside of my hand, okay? So this is a big topic, guys, because the topic to me looks like this. If at the beginning, students come to Sistema and they're tense, whether if they're scared or they've got injuries or they're worried of some sort. So they come with fear, and you spend the first year, 6 months, 2 years, a lifetime, who knows, to get rid of this thing, okay? But once you kind of get rid of fear, that tension that's based from fear, you now can insert tension under your control. So I'm going to make a fist, not because I'm angry, but because I can make a fist. That's just for the sheer sake. Does that make sense? Like you get that, right? Like I make a fist because I can make a fist. It's not associated with anything. I'm not mad or sad. I just made a fist, right? And then when I open my hand, it's the same thing. I open my hand, not because I'm scared of something, just open my hand, right? So try it a few times now. So you can inhale and then you can exhale. And again, on your own, you can make it 100%, you can make it 10%. There's everything in between, I don't care. But you're studying how to tense up the hand to close and tense up the hand to open. And you should feel that those things are equal. Right? You should feel that I'm squeezing in as much as I'm squeezing open. Yeah. And if you need, you can close your eyes, right? Sometimes close your eyes, see how that feels. Good. Now with your forearms, okay? So you hold your hand up, right? So I let my hands drip forward, and I find that I'll find this part of my forearm, the inside part, tense, and then I flip my hands backwards, and I find the outside of my forearm tense. So it's in, I find this part, and out that part, right? And again, 5 out of 10, you don't want to cramp up or anything. You're just simply trying to feel that you have two groups of muscles. When I bend this way, this muscle is completely relaxed. And when I go this way, this muscle is completely relaxed. Nice, Eddie, nice. Don't shake, guys. Like don't squeeze so much you shake. Just, that's it. Awesome. Really good. Now, you're going up there now towards the bicep. So I squeeze it. I mean, just think of squeezing something, right? I squeeze, I can feel my biceps. And then I breathe out and I straighten and I feel my triceps. So you feel the big muscles of the arm now, the biceps and the triceps, right? Just enough that I squeeze like I'm holding somebody or wrestling or some sort of move like this, but not the chest, mostly the arms. And then I exhale and I feel the back of my arm, right? Back of the arm. Try to relax the shoulders though, guys. Maybe I may be showing it bad, but you relax the shoulders. Yeah. You just think of this. It's funny. I remember to the gym, I'd watch guys doing curls like this, and it's like the shoulders were up, right? Patrick knows what I mean. If you have to relax your shoulders, right? Jake, I'm sure too, right? Like they're choking themselves to death. You know, I don't know what the hell they're doing. So you inhale, you just focus on the biceps. Exhale, you focus on the triceps, and you relax the shoulders at the same time. Can you hear me? Test, test, test. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm playing with the two, so I'm trying to figure this out. Okay. So now from standing, okay, from a standing position, okay. So so you lift your arms up and tense up, right? So upwards, right? And then now you tense downwards. So this is like a lifting motion and a pulling motion. So really you feel like you're pulling up and then pushing down. Yeah. Remember, play with the tension. You want about 5 out of 10. You don't want it to be too light. You need to feel it, right? It's a tension. It's not a relaxation. It's a tension. Or just a movement. It's more. Try it even with your eyes closed, guys. Like, even try it with your eyes closed. That's it, Alberto. That's it. Remember, it's not just an exercise. You're studying how to control a group of muscles that contract up and then pull down. Right? Think of swimming. Think of the resistance. You would feel water up and then you feel water pressure down. Eddie, everything good? Okay. Very good, guys. Now like this. So now it's the same, but it's forward and then backwards. Okay. Now on the backwards, you want to come up as high as you can without bending. So you're going as far back and as far up. Okay. And make no doubt, guys, it's a tension. You're tensing yourself coming up, and then you're pulling down and you're tensing again. Yeah, like a 5 out of 10 in terms of your effort, right? That's it. Nice, Alberto, nice. Eddie, very good. Patrick, not too bad. You're about 3 inches short there, maybe less, right? Guys, just watch me for a second. So there's a one stretch you can do that is used as a benchmark stress for gymnastics. So I follow some of the really top level gymnastics guys on YouTube and social media, and I learned so much from them. Okay, and one stretch that really indicative of shoulder mobility and strength is the reverse of this one here. Okay, this one. Okay, so going up. If you can get to if you can get to level, it's a big deal. Most people stuck over here somewhere, right? But what you want to do is you want to get up as high as you can without bending. Okay, so try to do that stretch if you can almost every day. If you use like a bar behind you and you want to get to parallel. That's a good starting point, right? If you can do that, yeah, Alberto, you're about 6 inches short. Little bit of practice, you'll get there. That really works on the shoulder mobility. So as you inhale, you tense up coming up, and then as you exhale, you tense up going back as high up as you can. Yeah. Nice, guys. Keep going. Really good. Awesome. Very good. Good. So down, chest, right? So without bringing the shoulders forward, don't bring the shoulder. Inhale, tense up your chest. And then exhale, you tense up your back. So the shoulder blades. So inhale, tense up your chest. Exhale, tense up your back. Okay? Chest, back. Those are the two muscles. The chest pushes, the back pulls. So if you need, you can do it like that, right? And then you pull. So you push and you pull, right? Just again, guys, be careful of the shoulders. They always kind of trying to be overactive, right? Relax your shoulders. Just focus on the chest. Just focus on the pull. That's how, coincidentally, that's how you can tell when people work out if they know what they're doing. If you see the shoulders that are soft, they're usually pretty good. They figured it out. Yeah, the same with a push-up as well. People's shoulders up high, it's not a good push-up. Awesome. Now the same with the stomach. So I pull my stomach in and I blow it out or push it out. I pull it in with an inhale, the pulling muscles of the stomach. I exhale. Right? Don't be shy, guys. Push it out. Inhale. Really suck it in as much as you can. Exhale, push it out. Think of your stomach. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, one more in, out. Good. Next one, take your hands, put them on your thighs, okay? And you're kind of bending over a little bit, right? And what I want you to do is breathe in and you lift your bum up a little bit. Okay, like your tailbone goes up a little bit, okay? Then breathe out and round that. So make your low back like round. So it's like I push down with my hands and I open my low back. Okay, so I'll show you here. This part here becomes round. So I breathe in, I curve it. So like I put my bum up, and then I exhale, I curve it, I push it out. Lots of you guys have low back issues, I know. It's very common because we sit too much. Push that curve. Now, I'll give you something, but you have to take it, I don't know how else to explain it. When you're pushing out, okay? When you're pushing out and you're rounding your back, it's almost like you're pooing, but don't poo. I'll put that caveat, okay, Eddie, I know what you're thinking. So you round out, it's almost like you're pushing the low back out, like you want to make it you want the low back to be like that. So as I breathe in, it goes like that. And as I breathe out, it curves. That, and then like that. You should feel some relief in the low back area. It should feel really good. Awesome, guys. Okay. How was it? So again, remember the kind of the premise I'm trying to give you guys here. So you've all been training in Systema for a while, so you're not new, okay? So you have the idea of we need to relax. So once you got that concept, the next concept is, okay, I'm relaxed now. So now I can start to insert tension that's under my control because I've broken tension from fear, or at least I've tried to, and it's mostly gone. But I have more control over myself. Does that make sense, guys? So I'm a gymnast. I'm scared of falling. I'm scared of hurting myself. Once I get past that fear, I have control, and control, I can do flips and dips and whatever I want to do. So that's the big thing in Systema. We're trying to get rid of fear, and once we get rid of tension, but then once we break the tension fear connection, we have just tension under our control. Make sense? So that's the first place, okay? The next place you're going to try this now is from the ground. Okay, so I'll walk you through because I don't know how the camera angles are going to work, but try to lie down on your back for me now. Lie down your back. I'll show you just 5 minutes how to do this from the ground as well in a very easy way. Good. So open your hands up. So it does, I guess they could be beside you, but I think it's better if you open them up, okay? So nice and easy, okay? I want you to think about a clock. So a clock meaning you have, now your hands should be 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, okay? They should be like that, 9 and 3, okay? So try to visualize a clock. So now push into the ground with your hands. So push into the ground, okay? And you should feel at this point, all the back muscles, not anything in the front at all, okay? Breathe in, breathe out, kind of hold that tension comfortably, like 5 out of 10. We're not trembling, we're not locking up our bones. And now, I don't know, 15 or 10, 15 seconds. Now I want you to move your arms like a clock. So instead of 9 and 3, try 10 and 4. And again, push into the ground. And you just work your way around the clock, you realize that there's always, you're feeling all the muscles on the posterior or the back, the back side of you, okay? Now, you don't need to engage the legs at all in this exercise, but you could definitely do it with the legs if you wanted as well. The same idea would apply, but we're just sticking to the upper body for today. Very good. Remember, don't hold your breath, and you're now working with tension under your control. So control that tension. Move the hands around to different spots of the clock. Nice, Miro. Good, Patrick. Nice. Jaker, really good as well. Very good, guys. How was it? Sit up for a sec. How was it? Could you feel how you weren't equally strong, or you could be more tense in certain areas as you went around the clock? Could you all feel that? Yeah. That it wasn't like an equal, because you should, every time you make even a small change, everything changes. Like different muscle groups come into play, right? It's really good to isolate. Like I remember I'm prone to getting a rib out in my back over here. It's case behind my shoulder, but very common. Somebody hit me there, and then I fell on something, and the rib's always funny. And whenever I do this, I can almost all the time feel that rib, right? So you can actually feel a lot that you can do, right? Now, an exercise guy could do this with bands, right? You could do this with bands as well, and different angles, right? So it's you'd hit all the different muscles in your back. Okay. Now you're going to do the same thing from the front. Okay. So as you're lying on your stomach, start at like 3 and 9, and you're pushing into the floor, and then think of the clock again. And now you're working all the muscles on the chest, like all the front of the body. Okay. Try that. That's fine, that's good, Jaker. Those bands are good. Yeah, they're really good. They vary. Just sometimes people get bands that are just a little too strong, and meaning not that they can't pull them apart. And I also get worried because YouTube's got a ton of stuff that happens when that goes wrong. When those
all this stuff you're doing today, my physio guy has me doing it.
Oh, I know. There's
my shoulder now.
When you see how people fix themselves, that's the best way to work out. That they know how to keep you healthy, right?
But that I still think that hangs. It's helped me more than anything.
I know.
I love it.
Good, brother. Good. When you're pushing into the ground, guys, make sure that your elbows are fairly straight. Like don't have them bent. Just stretch out and then push down. Stretch out, push down. This way you always relax the shoulder. Right? Yeah, so all the muscles in the back should be really relaxed. Don't work with those. Just think of pushing into the ground and you'll activate the muscles of the front part of the body. Sometimes it helps me to visualize like a suction cup. Like think of when you stick a suction cup onto some glass, like you suction cup yourself to the ground, like really stick down, push into the ground like a suction cup. Very good, guys. Okay, one of the last ones now. Hands beside you in a push-up and come up. And stay at the very top. Just stay at the top of the push-up. Okay, so with your hands now, okay, I want you to squeeze, like don't move them, but squeeze in. So it's like you're trying to pull your hands in, but you're not doing it. Like they're just stuck on the ground, but so when you do that, you'll feel the muscles of the front of your body. And now pull out. So like try to open your hands, but don't open them, but push out. And by pushing out, you'll now feel the muscles of your back. So you squeeze in, but you're pushing into the floor and you're pushing in, which activates the front. And then you're pushing outwards, which activates the muscles of the back. Okay, so this is also another way of incorporating this work in a simple push-up, and you didn't even move. You can feel that, guys? Let me know. Can you feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Very important. So this is how sometimes the chest gets very tired, like you're holding a long push-up, then right away push out with the hands and you'll feel it in the back. And you can rest your chest muscles. And then you can start to see how certain muscle groups you can rest and activate depending on how much you know your tension control of your body. Awesome, guys. Good enough. Good enough. That's good. Just an idea for you, okay? How does it feel? Talk to me. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So we're building not only strength, but we're building muscular control, right? We're starting to understand how to, when I tell a muscle group to do something, it does it. Like you remember, you're in control, like your mind controls your body, and you need to strengthen the communication from one to the other. Okay. Now, for those of you who've been to physio, they usually do like electric stimulation, right? Or they usually use the acupuncture needles. That's to stimulate the connection of the nerves from here to your brain all the time. Okay. So you need to do it yourself, finger by finger, right? And muscle by muscle, you're strengthening your mind. Says, when I say fist, is a fist. When I say finger, it's a finger. When I say shoulder, it's a shoulder. Like it's not kind of a shoulder. It's not kind of my chest or kind of my back. No, it back, chest, stomach. Like I'm able, when my mind makes a decision to make something strong, it makes it strong, or it's under my complete control. Okay. You can never spend enough time. You can do this with legs, and maybe next session I'll show you with the legs, right? But the more you work on this, the better you see the control of your body will be completely under your command. Okay. Again, in gymnastics, they do the same thing, but they're not focused on fighting. But have any of you, like ask Patrick, I don't know if any of you have ever, the other teachers, have ever trained a gymnast? Have you ever trained a gymnast? They're spectacular because they know their bodies well. They know how to when they have to relax and tense up, it's completely under their control. So this is what makes them quite powerful athletes and how they can pick up sports very quickly. Okay. Now, how does this relate to gun work, right? Because if you have any tension in your body that's not under your control, you'll find it now. Okay, you'll see it when you're operating a gun. Okay, now there's two types of gun training. There's the sport gun training, which is a huge thing, right? Basically, it's very prim and proper Olympic stuff. You know, the old, very formal shooting. I do a lot of that. I'm not a tactical guy. Okay, I'm not going into the combat. I don't want to live in a dream world. I try to keep it as real as I can, right? The sports stuff is fine for me, but I have done a lot of training with tactical guys, and it's wonderful. It's also a lot of fun. Okay, there's professional football, and then there's pickup football with your friends. Okay, it's also fun, right? There's no problem. But what I want you to do now with the gun is I'll show you a couple of different ways of approaching gun training that will allow you to find the way you like to do it. Okay, that's all you have to do. Make sense? Okay, so grab your gun. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do, okay, is you're gonna point at something, okay? It doesn't matter what it is, right? And then standing still, you're gonna point at something else. So you're standing still, but the gun is moving. Okay? The gun is moving. So find a spot, point to it, and point the gun to it. So it can be straight ahead of you, it can be beside you. The body is very still. Now, what you're looking for specifically is the shoulder to relax, okay? Don't tense up your shoulder. Don't get it. Just literally point the gun just like you're pointing your finger. So if you take the gun into your hand, point at something, and then put the gun in, point at something, okay? And a little side note, guys. You see my hand? Okay? That's the best way to hold the gun because wherever your finger is pointing, you know that's where the barrel is pointing, okay? Just like a finger. If it's point down, it's up. If it points up, it's up. You always know because your finger is there. You never want to put your finger in the trigger barrel unless you're pulling the trigger. If I see somebody doing this, it's not firing a gun with their finger in here, I know right away they don't know. In training, never put your gun here. It's easy for the person to break the finger, right? Keep it on the outside along parallel the barrel. Now you have two hands as well. Okay, so put it in your weaker hand as well. Put it in your weak hand. And I want you to observe and tell me what difference you feel. It's very important to know the difference. So there's your strong hand, which is most cases right. And then there's your off hand, which is your left. And you should notice a difference. There should be something different, not just strength, but something's different. Okay, guys, come close. What did you notice? What's the difference between your left and your right hand? Anything? Nobody has nothing to say.
My left hand's almost more relaxed, Manny. It gets to the target easier
Okay.
or faster.
Yeah. What else? Jaker, what'd you notice?
I have to work harder with my bad hand.
Okay.
I have to think more.
Interesting.
Miro,
More of a struggle.
what about you, Miro?
More tension in one of the hands, like if you're trying to catch up with tension instead of makes me more effort to relax the shoulder.
Patrick, what do you think?
Just confidence level with the
Okay.
right hand.
So listen, guys, when you're talking about a gun, okay, number one thing of always is accuracy. That's it. Nothing trumps accuracy. If you're going to use a gun, any weapon, you better be accurate with it, 100%. Okay, there's nothing, you have to put that priority above all else. Okay, last thing. So what you're doing now is you're looking at a target. Okay, I'm looking at a target, and then I'm pointing at it. I'm looking at a target, then I'm pointing at it, right? I'm not pointing without looking and shooting. I look, this is so important, guys, especially for professionals, okay? You don't want to, if your gun gets there before your eye does, guess what's going to happen? Really bad stuff, okay? Now, let's dissect it a little further. My both eyes are not square in the middle of my head. One's on one side, one's on the other side. Most of us have one dominant eye. That's it. You know that, right? It's not in the middle. You're not a cyclops. It's on one side, okay? Well, some people are cyclops. It's a different thing, okay? So on my strong hand, so most people, right-handed, right eye dominant, okay? If you're right-handed and left eye dominant, that's some messed up stuff, okay? You're gonna have a hard time. I'm serious, in life in general, right? It's not normal, it is common, okay? So you need to get a special t-shirt and the whole bit. It's all wrong. So why are you laughing, Patrick? So everybody look at me now. When I lift up my right hand, it's right over top of my right eye. You see that? Receiving? It's over top of my right, because it's on my right hand is on the right side of my body. It's not in the middle of my body. So everything lines up perfect. When I'm offhand, it has to be canted. Do you see that? It cannot be straight because it's not over my right eye. I need to move it over my right. Do you see the difference, guys? Can you see that on the screen? Look at it. When it's straight, I can't really aim proper. That means I can't be accurate. I have to turn my gun at a 45 degree to make it line up with my right eye. Okay? Again, guys, I'm not an expert tactical guy, but I've done enough competitions, and it's not gangster stuff. It's nothing to do with gangster stuff. It's that there is two sights on a gun, two sights. And I need them to line up over my right eye, not my left eye, my right eye. I can't see that good. That makes sense? So I want you to try it again. Stand up, right eye, you'll see the gun is best operated straight. Left or offhand, it's best operated at a 45 degree or a cant. Okay? And you'll see, these guns don't shoot, I get it. But tomorrow when you do work with one, you'll be way more accurate, okay? And believe me, guys, I know this for a fact. I've competed in hundreds of gun competitions. I love it. It's so much fun, but you got to be accurate. It doesn't matter how many bullets you shoot. You got to be accurate. That's how those competitions work. And something tells me in a real situation, you want to be pretty accurate. So if you're going to use it, be accurate. All right, you guys got it? How was it? Could you see the difference? Could you line up the sights a little bit better? Miro, you got that good gun. Could you line it up a little bit better?
Yeah, I'm left-eyed, and I was born left-handed, but I turned right-handed due to my mother. So I
Jesus.
have these things very messed up.
Oh my God. That's going to be a hard road you got to travel now, man. That's a hard road. I've actually met somebody with a rifle. So he's got the rifle, and usually it's over your right eye, and he has to do it like this.
Yeah.
But rifle you can do, but not with a gun. It's very difficult, right? Okay, guys, good enough. Just some ideas, right? Something to think about for your training. Now, a little bit different, right? So I'm pointing the gun, pointed at something, okay? Pointed at something. Now, bring the gun into yourself, move, point somewhere else. So I bring the gun into myself, I move myself, and I point. So anytime you're moving, you bring the gun towards yourself, and then you move, and then you bring it out again. So watch me close, guys. Watch me just before you go. So I've got the gun pointed here, right? If I want to turn around, I bring the gun in, I turn, and I push it out. Okay? So again, you're pulling in, and you can move. Push out, you stay still. Pull in, you can do whatever you want. Push out, you stay still. This is very basic stuff, guys. This is like what they're going to show police. It's easy to remember. You steady yourself on a shot, you move when it's in close to you. Okay? It can be one hand, it can be two hands. It doesn't matter to me. When it's close to you, you can move. When it's out, you stop. When it's close to you, you move. When it's out, you stop. Any position is fine now. Backwards, forwards, left and right. You can go on one knee. It didn't matter. You can even go on the ground if you want and move. As long as the gun is close to your body, you can do whatever you want moving. As soon as it's out, you got to be as still as you can. Awesome, guys. Come a little bit closer. Just some little bit of further kind of insight. So in my eyes, okay, if you could imagine like a little dot, 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 dot. So it's just like an imaginary dotted line that goes to the target, okay? When my gun is here, like close to me, the moment my gun comes up, as soon as this part of the gun meets my dotted line to the target, it's going to go off. You understand that? I don't decide it's coming up. As soon as it hits my eye and the target, bang, it's going off. So for me, I don't even think of shooting until my eye, that dotted line, and the barrel of my gun meet. Okay? So you got to kind of visualize this, like when I'm looking at something, there's an imaginary dotted line, and when those two things meet, it's going off. Does that make sense? So this way, you never will do something you regret like this, if you know what I mean. Because the competitions that we train, they have good guys and bad guys, targets that you should shoot, targets that you shouldn't shoot. They tell you. And if you don't make that connection, I look first, I acquire a target, I make a decision, and I raise my gun to that decision. I don't have my gun and make the decision right here. I've already made it. When I acquire it, I just need to bring my gun up to that target before I shoot, okay? So as you're moving around now, imagine an imaginary line and bring the barrel of the gun to that line. That's when you make the decision to shoot, okay? Try it on your own, just a couple of minutes. Imagine an imaginary line. You always got to make sure, guys, you have to make positive acquisition that there is a target, not a dream or an illusion. It has to be real. Even forget about this, guys. If you look at shootings across the world, most of them are accidental. And the reason accidental, because the person thought the person was somebody else. You know, you go hunting, how many people get shot? They say, oh, I thought you were a deer. Like, I thought you were a turkey. Nothing of a person looks like a deer or turkey, guys. The guy was in like, because he didn't acquire the target. He had an imagination. You have to acquire a positive target. Otherwise, don't shoot. You guys remember there was recently a documentary of the Pistorius guy, you know, the Blade Man. Remember him? Where he shot his wife, girlfriend through the door. He thought somebody was breaking in. He just shot the gun through the bedroom door. Stupid. You got to acquire the target. You can't live with you have to make sure. Awesome. Okay. You guys will be able to watch this later. So you can practice more. The last one looks a little something like this. Okay. I point the gun at something and I move my body around, but I keep the gun at that level. So my gun stays still, but I move, okay? Now, if you wanna, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to move my camera here. Oh, what happened? You guys can see me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what you do is you put your gun on a wall. Actually, I can do it here. Hold on. So you put your gun on a wall, right? Like that. You push it, and then you move around. So you hold the gun static, and you move your body around. Try it. Push it like, or you don't need a wall. I guess you could just do it. Just keep the gun still and move your body around. Yeah, so the gun stays still and you move your body around. Yeah, left hand, right hand. Try to imagine you have the gun pointed somewhere, but somebody's pushing you. Somebody's kicking you. Somebody's grabbing you in a headlock and you escaping. But the gun is always pointed where you want it to point. Yeah, that's it, Miro. Yeah, you can look around. Yeah, but the gun is generally pointed in that area. Or you can imagine people pushing you and you keep the gun straight, but you deal with the push. That's this way you study now how to, the gun still, but you're moving. Remember left hand too, right? You want to train your offhand as well. Keep the gun as still as you can. Move your body around. Very good, guys. Come around for a second. How do you feel? How do you feel? Just a small story about this, okay? In those 3 drills that I just showed you now, where you're moving the gun around and you're standing still, you're pointing, and then you're moving around and pointing, and now you're pointing and moving your body around the gun. Those 3 drills are very systemic, okay? They're very much what separates a lot. And one of the reasons I did really, really good in pistol competitions is because of that systemic training. I studied pistol competitions and shooting way after I started Sistema. So I was training in Sistema, and then I wanted to challenge myself. And I found pistol shooting, and then I found archery. Archery was the last one, okay? So you guys have to understand, I'm already very good in archery. Can you imagine how good I am in pistols? I've been shooting pistols a lot longer, okay? I'm good. I don't talk about it much because people think you're crazy in Canada if you like your pistols. So no, it's the truth. Nobody understands the sport of it. It's an Olympic sport, but everybody thinks you're a gangster. So the idea is this. I seen Constantine, I'll share with you guys a beautiful story with Constantine. So I attended a seminar in Belgium. I had a friend who worked at an airline company and got me very cheap tickets one day. And in the last moment, we went to go see Constantine in Belgium. Okay. Now, Constantine to me is a spectacular gun guy. I've never met a guy that can do what he does with guns. Okay. Very good with his guns. And while we were at the seminar, there was a group of about 8 or 10 Belgian police officers that were there. And they attended the seminar, and Constantine found out about it. He loves training professionals, so he loves this. So he asked the group if we didn't mind if we helped work with these guys for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes with them on how they use a gun. And he had them, he said, I'm gonna play a rowdy drunk. And Constantine was amazing. He played a rowdy drunk perfectly, okay? Like the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they're not aggressive, but they're also not complying. You know, a good drunk and a good criminal, he's right on the line. He knows, he tries to push the police officer a little bit, right? Well, at one point, you know, it was getting kind of ugly. You saw the police officers getting frustrated, and they had pulled out their guns and said to him, you know, told Constantine he was playing a drunk to, you know, no, and da. And he said, okay, stop. And he walked up to the police officer and he grabbed his gun. It was a training gun, but he pulled it back and he put his mouth to the lips and he says, can we have a good conversation like this? You know, could you talk to somebody through a gun? Think of it, right? You can't have a good conversation like that. So, and he showed how he would approach it. And the same situation, the only difference he did, and it made the huge difference. Again, this was not scripted. This was not part of the seminar. He was off seminar. This was off script, okay? So there's no planning here. When he approached the drunk with his gun and he gave him instructions, he then went like this. He goes, okay, so are you gonna listen to what I have to say? That's all he did. The gun still pointed at the dude, but now we're having a personal conversation, right? Here it's all business. I'm having a conversation right now, okay? And even the officers that were there couldn't believe how just the change of position made a huge difference. It's a huge difference, guys. So you have that ability to keep the gun pointed. It changes everything when you can do this, okay? So what does that mean to me? I'm never gonna be in this situation. But in shooting competitions, you gotta shoot around stuff all the time. You have to, it's not straight shots. There could be through a window, through a door. Many times you're lying down or you're like this. Gun is over here and you have to shoot. These competitions are meant to challenge you on many levels, right? It's not just straight shots, right? They're meant to challenge you. And because I had trained like that, I was able to change my body position. I was very comfortable and quickly I adapted, right? So what I love about this training, it puts you in a place to adapt to whatever way you want to train with a gun. You want to be a competition shooter? Go be a competition shooter. You want to be a combat shooter? Go be a combat. You don't want to do any of this. You just want to understand Sistema? Go understand Sistema. Right? So the gun, it's less about the gun. It's more about you. The focus is on your skill set. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, guys, I can't stress enough. Like I'm trying to share with you some really personal stories that have changed the way I look at stuff. You're always going to get people with guns and tell you it's this way. It's not just that way. There's lots of ways, okay? Not one way. You know, it's like me saying the only type of cycling is Tour de France. That's a load of shit. The only type of running is a marathon. That's garbage, okay? A lot of people can run for the bus. A lot of people can run 5K. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people can do whatever they want, and it's whatever running you want to make it. Guns are the same. It can be the same for all of us, right? Just make sure you take the time for that, okay? You had fun today? You enjoyed it? Was it, yeah, it was good? Okay. So Monday, yeah, so next week I'll see you guys. I'll post this next day or two. Is that cool? Everybody able to log on? Everybody good? Okay, good, guys. Make sure you can log on. Rewatch. So I'm just going through it fast. I'm not giving you too much time to play with it, but I'm hoping you'll just go back and play with some of this stuff on your own and just build. I want to just throw as much content, as much training material, and then let you guys run with it a little bit more, okay? I will see you. Patrick, any of you guys that are here in Toronto, the location has changed for the outdoor training. Just went to a place that's a lot more lit. So make sure, just so I don't want to be going the wrong. And the times have also changed because 7 for the adults, guys, not 6 anymore because we got light now. Okay. For the kids, it's still 6, but we got a lot more light. All right.
Awesome.
Peace out, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys next week. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Manny.
All the best, guys. Be well. Bye.
Bye.